Welcome to the India Revival Mission, our special program on ET Now, and I'm Tamanna Inamdar. Today I'm speaking with Mr. Gautam Singhania, MD and Chairman of the Raymond Group, and of course spearheading a sector which creates a lot of employment but is also facing a lot of headwinds right now from across the world due to the coronavirus pandemic. Mr. Singhania, welcome to this special program, and a pleasure as always to have you on ET Now.
Thank you very much.
All right, let me start off with how you see the situation we are in currently. We have seen about 4 to 5 months of what a post-pandemic or an economy looks like in the middle of a pandemic. A lot of companies have figured out how to survive, revive. Do you see this as a big change in philosophy even at the Raymond Group? We know that costs have been cut, jobs have been pared down as well. What has been your biggest learning so far?
See, we are in the middle of a pandemic, and it's a tough time, but this pandemic is here to stay. I don't think it's going away tomorrow. Having said that, I think, people talk about a new normal, people talk about sitting at home, work from home, etc., etc. I think people are just only focusing on the work from home. But what are you going to work if consumption is not going to happen? And consumption will only happen if you open up the markets. Now, a lot of countries in the world did a lockdown for one specific reason. And the reason was that you do the lockdown, you build up your medical infrastructure, and then you let it open up. But to keep it locked down in the state is detrimental to the progress of business. And I'm quite strongly advocating that we have to now open up, because I completely empathize with the issues of coronavirus and the deaths due to that, but I don't think anybody is really seeing the actual deaths of businesses, the lakhs of people who are losing their livelihood, the places that migrant workers are not finding, and the difficulties that they are being through. So I genuinely believe that it's now, we've been in 4 or 5 months lockdown. I think the time has come to open up, and that is the only way to recover.
Aren't we open, Mr. Singhania? I mean, technically, we are in Unlock 3.0. We have most states and cities allowing brick and mortar stores to open as well, with certain restrictions in containment zones, etc. Has that not helped in any way?
Well, technically is the correct word you use. Technically we are open, but are we actually open? We are opening in fits and starts. We're going back into lockdowns as and when we feel like. So, yeah, it's a jerking start motor which is not firing up. You have to open it up seamlessly. Number two, let me elaborate on what I say. When you say in Maharashtra, the shopping malls are open, I said the shopping malls are open, but the theaters and restaurants are not open in the shopping mall. And let us understand that 85 to 90% of people go to a mall to watch a movie and eat something and shop on the way out. They don't go to a mall to shop and hope to see a movie. So unless you don't open up, the thing in totality, they coexist. And if you think people are going to go to malls today because they want to shop, it's a lot of impulsive shopping that happens in malls, and it really happens from the traffic. Therefore, if you go to a mall, you actually see the theaters are right at the end, because they want that traffic to go in and come out.
The last time we spoke, Mr. Singhania, you were fairly confident that we would see a V-shaped recovery in demand, that there would be, a sort of jump up back to consumption. Are you seeing that position changing now, or are you still hopeful of this big jump up in consumption when things end? And I'm putting when things end in air quotes, because nobody knows when that end is.
You see, if you take the month of June, most industries saw a good recovery in demand. But these frequent, repeated lockdowns are causing the problem. Now, if you see, most of the wholesale markets are in lockdown cities: Bombay, Delhi, Chennai, Bangalore, Calcutta. And these are very large wholesale markets which are in lockdown, and they really feed the rest of the country. So if you see non-lockdown markets like tier 4, 5, 6, 7 towns, there the demand is pretty good. But your big markets are the class 1 cities which are completely locked down. So unless we don't open it up, again, I repeat, sorry to repeat it, but we have to open up.
Let me contextualize this conversation, with the India Revival Mission, where we are constantly looking at what India needs to do to not just survive, but also thrive. Our numbers are growing exponentially, so then there's that, we are, because of being a large population, we have high numbers of positive cases. On the other hand, we want to get businesses on, we want to protect livelihoods as well. What do you think are the 2 or 3 things the government must focus on? One of them presumably being easing up lockdowns all around and letting people out?
Yeah, I think genuinely, I've been a very big advocate. You have to open up, because unless you don't open up, business will not happen. Number two, we are looking at about 1.5 million cases in India, 2 million cases so far. Are we going to wait till 1.3 billion people get this? The chances are half of India has already got it. We don't know. And if we say, no, we want to officially know that 1.3 billion people have got it, and then we open up, we won't have anything to open up. Look at so many sectors that are really reeling under the pressure of this. And eventually this is going to land up on the banks, and which will have its own impact across the country. There are enough people. So I always say, is the glass half full or half empty? And there are 50% of the people today, if I took a conservative number, are ready to go back to work. A migrant worker is taking a very tough choice, that do I feed myself or do I get scared of coronavirus? How can you take that right away from him to feed himself? He's willing to work, he's willing to take the risk, whatever that risk percentage is, but he's still willing to take it. How do we stop a person like that from earning a livelihood?
Let me come back to the context of the company of Raymond, Mr. Singhania. So now there have been some tough decisions you've had to take in terms of letting people go, in terms of cutting costs, and it's also a time when any kind of demand for suiting, formal clothing picks up during festive season, may be muted this year. What is the outlook looking like for you? What is the kind of pivoting or reinventing you have had to do?
So let me just answer one more point on what you asked earlier, and I will answer this question of yours. And you said, what can the government do? I mean, I'm a strong advocate, and I told a couple of office bearers, I said that, you know what, we need to kickstart our economy. Okay, keep the IPL in India, do it in a bubble, do it between 3 cities, do it in a controlled way, and kickstart our economy. Why do we need to do it in Dubai? There's absolutely no reason for it. I mean, I'm sure our government can come up with a system. I mean, if you take Bombay, you do it at the Wankhede and you stay at the Oberoi. Why not? You can do it very easily in a bubble. Why do we have to do it in another country, and why do we have to kickstart their economy? The need of the hour is to kickstart our economy. And, we need to stay, as a country, we should stay away from Chinese products. There's a lot of resentment against Chinese.
Okay, I will repeat my other question again, but I must follow up on this, Mr. Singhania. So you are saying you're disappointed by the fact that IPL was taken out of India, and now in the UAE, this could have been an opportunity to really kickstart the economy.
You got to find another option. When there's so much hatred and resentment against Chinese, and for what they have done to the world, are we saying money overrides everything? I'm sorry, this is my personal view, and a lot of people might not like what I say, but as far as bringing the IPL to India, keep it in India. Why can we as a country not work out a system to do it in a bubble? If you see Formula One today, Formula One is doing Formula One in a bubble. Let's learn something from them. And they're doing it across 7 or 8 countries. It will certainly be easier to do it within one country in India. Why can't we do it? And that will give so many more jobs, create so much of a positive sentiment that our country so needs.